as an educator, I find that people are beginning to ask me about, I've coined the phrase flipping their genius. How can they put their expertise online is what they're asking me, people in practice. So they can teach people, but at the same time, they can also concentrate on helping them solve problems. And the other point that was really interesting, I was just writing about it the other day, is we're seeing a lot more conversation. I think, I can't remember who was talking about that, but thank you. We are seeing more conversation. It's a blessed relief that we're escaping iPhones. By the way, experience, which is what I've just talked about, is Oscar Wilde said it's the name that we give to our mistakes. So just bear that in mind as we work through all of this. My experience is there are three things that we need to focus on, and these are the things we need to focus on in these sort of situations: people, operations, and money. They're the three things that we've got to look at very closely indeed. Because what happens when we go into a crisis situation such as we're in now, for some people at least, you start to get a drop in those three things, and that means you get an impact on your profit, you get an impact on your break-even line, and some people are heading towards loss. I hope that people aren't heading towards insolvency, but some will, unfortunately. And the idea of business continuity, which is what I'm going to talk about now, and recovery, is that we move people very away from the loss. We get the cash flow sorted out, we get operations working, we get the right people in place, break through to break even, then over time we come back into our profit area, and then we get back to business as normal. One of my coaches said to me the other day, you do realize that people will not go back to business as normal? And I said, what do you mean by that? He said, business is not going to be normal. There will be a new normal after all of this. And I think a lot of the commentary that we've heard from everybody this morning is saying exactly that. We are beginning to see some new normalities emerging, and I think that's really very important to note that. But again, I come back to, in coping with that, we need to do the right thing by people. We need to manage rumours, gossip, emotions, and reduce panic, because we're going to hold a cash flow in particular. We want to make sure that we are not wasting time on operations we don't need to be doing, and we need to look after people. So and the other thing, and it's reflected again in the conversations this morning, is JFK said that when written in Chinese, the word crisis is composed of two characters. One represents danger and the other represents opportunity. So there are opportunities here for us to take. What I'm saying is we've got to take action, and that I can hear that universally in what you're doing and pass on to your clients. We've got to look first, but also you've got to look at what you're doing going forward. Because my message to my clients, to the people that I'm working is you've got to get some energy going, and you've got to get some fresh thinking. What Ivan said earlier is really important. Innovation. It's not about how well prepared you were. It's what you do now and what you do going forward. The example I always use when I talk about these sort of things is Apollo 13. They had contingency plans in place for Apollo 13, but nothing prepared them. Nothing prepared them for anything like what transpired. So it's energy, fresh thinking, planning and action that's going to help us to continue and then recover and grow. So the question is, what's your action plan? So I'm kind of throwing things forward as we move.